A month ago, I had a discussion with one of my friends who's shooting videos since 8 to 10 years, and he's mainly shooting with micro four third cameras. He's mainly shooting with the GH5, GH5S and G9, and this year in 2022, he wants to know if he should move with full frame cameras. They are more expensive, but in the end could be a good investment. And I thought it would be a good idea to share what we discuss about, so you can figure out for yourself if you should move with micro four third cameras or full frame cameras, moving on to your new career as a content creator. Hey, and welcome back on the channel. If you're new here, we talk about filmmaking gear, the creative process, and how to launch your business, whether it's online or with real clients. If you have any questions, it's down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss your answer in the next video. First thing first, if you're new into the camera industry, it's really important to know what is the sensor. The sensor is the part of your camera that transforms the light into an image. The bigger sensor, the more light you're gonna have into the camera, the better the image quality is going to be. So it's important to know what is the sensor so we can begin the discussion. When you want to start your video business, it's super important to know in what gear you're going to invest your money in. And if you're interested into micro four third camera, you're probably going to hear about the GH5 and GH5S. They are more video centered, but you're probably going to hear about the G9, which is more versatile because you're going to have more flexibility in terms of photos. But if you're interested into full frame cameras, you're probably going to hear about the A7SIII, but this camera is double the price. A GH5 is at about $2,000 when the A7SIII is at about $4,000, $5,000. So you can see that the price is extremely different. So this is why you have to find your strategy depending on the money that you have, but also depending on the way that you want to go with your content creation career. Let's compare Lumix to Sony. Lumix is a fairly new brand. They have launched their main cameras, which are the GH5 and G9 in 2018, and they have the S1, which is the full frame camera from Lumix, around 2019-2020. They have good capacity because they can shoot in 4K, they have dual ISO, which is good in no light situation, and you're up to shoot in 60 frames per second, which is good if you want to do some slow motion. In comparison, Sony is a dinosaur because they have launched the first camera with the external memory card. I don't know if you knew that, but this is something amazing. And if you want to go with a cheap version, you could go with the Sony ZV-E10 or with some alpha series like the A64, A6100. And if you want to go with full frame sensor, you have the A7 IV, which is from 2021, and the A7SIII, which is from 2020. When you compare Sony camera range to Lumix camera range, you're gonna see that there is a big difference in terms of choices. You have more choice with Sony than Lumix, and this is maybe normal because Sony is older than Lumix. But at the same time, you could think that you have more chance to progress within the same brand with Sony than Lumix, and this is really important. But back to the discussion that I had with my friend. So he's shooting videos since 8 to 10 years and he's using Lumix cameras, and the main problem that he has is that the autofocus on Lumix cameras are pretty bad, so he's misfocusing some shots, and this is not something new. When you buy a Lumix camera, you know it's a contrast autofocus, and sometimes it just doesn't work. The second problem is that when you are working with low light situation, the performances are not as good as a full frame camera. So if you decide to buy a micro four third camera with Lumix, you have to be aware that the low light performances are not that good, and you know why now. But you also have to be aware that you will have to buy a lens that lets the light come into the sensor more. So you have to buy a lens with a f1.8 or f2.0 aperture. And the third problem that we have with Lumix is that we don't have any news. In fact, in 2021, they didn't release one camera for the pros. And this is something big for us because when you compare that to Sony, Sony has released multiple cameras, including the A7 IV, which has a 33 megapixels, which is pretty amazing. But when you see the difference, okay, the price is different, but Sony is more engaging people to progress and go for it than Lumix. What I want you to learn with this video is that if you decide to move from one brand to another, or if you decide to launch your business, well, talk to people, ask all your questions in the comments or to people that you know, try new cameras and decide whether it's better to spend more money with one brand than spending a little bit of money but being stuck with another brand. If you have any questions, the comment section are down below for that. I'm going to put some links to help you with the sensor stuff and all that if you're a bit lost. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, as it's going to support my work and give me some energy to pursuing into the YouTube game. And don't forget to like the video to help ranking this video a bit better. Anyway, take care of yourself. See you soon.